Well, within that journey, you got involved with the Beethoven Project. Can you tell us what that is and how you got involved in it?
Yeah, wow. These are long history questions. Let me see if I can make it. I've had it's all good. I've had a complicated life, but as Maya Angelou says, I wouldn't take anything for it. I
Well,
wouldn't change anything about the journey.
Amen.
look at where it got you. It got you talking to us tonight. So it's all
Right,
good.
right. So the Beethoven Project started with a philanthropist named Irving Harris at the then Ounce of Prevention Fund. Now, Start Early is its new organizational name. But I was one of the the staff that were there um, at the time that he began his philanthropic interest focused totally on education and education for our poorest children and families in Chicago. And he had a vision, and we agreed with the vision that we were going to provide this comprehensive service from birth to five. And we picked a group of buildings in the Robert Taylor housing development, in which we said every child in that housing development, there were quads, what they call quads of buildings, 4 buildings, 1 unit. Then you have another set of 4 buildings. It's hard to explain. It was the largest housing development in the country at that time. And we picked one quadrant on that corridor in State Street, and we said every child that comes through our doors will arrive at kindergarten with all the essential developmental and learning skills necessary to start on a successful trajectory throughout school, and will be successful and go to college and be a successful contributing citizen. In other words, have a positive and successful educational trajectory. We were going to prepare them for that. So the Beethoven Project was a big vision at the time in 1980s. We moved into the housing development. I'm going to tell you, we were not playing. We were meeting the people where they were.
Yes.
In housing development on the second floor. And I used to do tours of that development called Beethoven. It really was called the Center for a Child Development Successful Child Development, but everybody called it Beethoven because the targeted school that we were going to send all of these prepared children into was called Beethoven. So I used to give tours of that center. We were right there every day with the families. And inevitably, when people would come to visit and trying to see what we were doing, that is to implement the most effective early learning practices possible. Those that you read about in the big research studies. We were going to implement it, take those lessons learned and implement it in the context of this community. And when people would come to visit, they were like, wow, God, what are these people doing? Are they crazy? No, we were just passionately believing in what we could do. And when they would come into the community, which is, I won't even bother to describe the community, but it was home to 26,000 families in an 8-block squares area. And when they would come up the stairs, because the elevator was inevitably never working, we were on the second floor. We occupied the entire second floor of a building. And people would come across, no parks, no grass, nothing there except families that we loved and care about. Wow. They would come upstairs anyway, and they would open the door to our center and see the brightness and see the care and the equipment and the light. Immediately when they stepped in the door, they'd go, because they couldn't believe that we cared about families that much, that we made that place be as good as any center in the richest community in America. Our children and families were worth it, and that center looked like it.